Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show, with over 10 million views on the only daily live queer news show in the world.
We are proud that we have more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
Nearly 500,000 of you have watched this show in the last 90 days. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our community.
It is Monday, January 6th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience. Our television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
That's right, Glenn. And let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. And let's welcome the hottie herself, anchor, chef, Josie. Josie's a Bravo TV top chef, and you also know her as DJ Lady Snack Daddy. She is a curator of life and a quantum energy practitioner. Josie, the once-in-a-lifetime adventure, Feast to Peace, will be from May 7th through May 14th aboard the Nun Goddess. Tell me what's happening.
Oh my God. Faye, I'm so excited to finally be able to share this amazing trip that I have been working so hard to bring together, a trip that is for the books. This trip is going to be unforgettable. I have teamed up with some of my friends aboard a floating temple down the Nile River called a dahabeah, which is an ancient style Nile River sailboat. And we have put together this just itinerary and this program to bring my select group of friends. Only 14 people I'm bringing on this trip. And we're going to be taking private tours of Giza Temple, of
The Giza
Pyramid.
Plateau, yeah.
We're going to be going to all the temples, Temple of Isis. We're going to go to the Valley of the Kings and the Queens. We're going to go on really cool excursions that are going to go into people's homes and learn about ancient Egyptian recipes like sun bread. And we're going to sit on this, listen, I'm not going to tell you all about it. You're going to have to just come. But what's been really cool is, since closing my restaurant and a lot of things happening for me in 2024, I have been traveling back and forth to Egypt and really tapping into what is something beautiful and transformational. And when I talk about bringing all of my worlds together, this is my next offering to the world. And it's tapping into food, your mind, your body, your spirit, the energy of things, your healing on this journey. This is the introduction of the Joy Provisions. It's a curation of food and wellness adventures and experiences. And so this is our first travel experience that I'm offering. And the Nun Goddess is just this beautiful luxury sailboat that is on the Nile River, with some of my very good friends from over a decade ago. I'm super excited to be a part of this. When I'm not doing that, you're going to be able to see me in Egypt, but this is something really special. I'm going to give you a little hint. I'm bringing on one of Top Chef winners, okay, who's going to come on and be a collab dinner with me.
Who is it? Who is it?
And I'm just telling you, it's just so much. So if you want,
How big is this ship?
it only accommodates 24 passengers, so it is a charter
Oh my
sailboat.
God, how
So there's
amazing.
only
How
like
intimate.
10 additional people there, 10 additional cabins?
Correct.
Wow.
And I'm saving those for my VIPs, and so those we'll talk. You know.
I love that.
But 14 guests that I really hope to create something that's unforgettable for them and for me. And
Awesome.
yeah, it's going to be great. Right now you can, book because there's only 14. And if you would like more info, you just come follow me at Chef Josie on Instagram or at The Joy Provisions on Instagram, and I'll get you some more information.
Life-changing, once in a lifetime event. This is what I get from this. Egypt is on a lot of people's bucket list,
Yes.
right? This is such an exceptional way to mark off that and also do something for yourself, right? And I'm a huge foodie. There's no one that's a bigger foodie than this one, right? So on top of it, you're going to Egypt, you're seeing these incredible places, you're with incredible people, and you get to eat some yummy ass food. All right?
And it's
Awesome.
a curation of just the arts, the mind, the body, the spirit, the food, the experience, the ancient wisdom, the history, the energy.
Yes.
I mean, this is the perfect recipe.
I love it. Well,
That's
Queer News.
amazing.
Well, Queer News tonight looks forward to seeing you all in Egypt for Feast to Peace from May 7th through May 14th. Next up, let's welcome anchor Jacqueline Lorber. She is the CEO, president of the South Florida Symphony Orchestra. She was also honored at the Outshine Film Festival for her impactful contributions to the arts. Jacqueline, so Masterworks II, Leonard Bernstein's Candide, will be in Miami Beach on January 14th and at the Broward Center Au-Rene Theater on January 16th and at the Tennessee Williams in Key West on the 19th. Tell me what's happening.
Well, what's happening is I'm going to have you be in the car so that we can make our way around to all these different places and definitely 6 events tied into this Candide happening. So it's very exciting. The cast is already here. Rehearsals have already begun. Sabrina's well underway with that. They've got the chorus now has joined them, and it's really incredible. Actually kind of came about on the heels of the movie The Maestro and the story that was created years ago by Leonard Bernstein. And then when we had the opportunity to meet his daughter a few years ago, it all kind of came together with permission of the foundation, which you cannot do this work without, and their support. So we're very excited about it. And tickets are available, but they're going very fast. We just had our gala sell out today. And so it's exciting to say that, the rest of the show will be right on the heels of that. But it's wonderful work, and we're having a lot of fun with it. It's very famously known for the song that Kristen Chenoweth did in her version that was called Glitter and Be Gay of the Lonnie Price version. And some people think that gay is gay like us, but it's actually gay like gay.
Like happy.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're having really a lot of fun with that. So
I love that. I love that. Exciting. Get your tickets, all right? So,
And Jamie will be here. She's coming in. Leonard's daughter will be here.
ooh, how
She's doing
exciting.
3 special events around her life with her father and will be joining us. So very excited.
Oh, I love that. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the South Florida Symphony's Orchestra's Leonard Bernstein's Candide on January 14th, 16th, and 19th. Get your tickets today. Let's welcome anchor Edward Otto Zielke. He's the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. Edward, my man, Out Professionals is hosting a network social for LGBTQ plus professionals at Bell. I probably said that wrong, Fort Lauderdale in downtown Fort Lauderdale. The event is on January 16th. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bell too. I was looking that up. It's Thursday, January 16th from 5 to 7 p.m. I had to take a look at this building because it's 2 landmark towers and it's got 775 residences, and so it's a really pristine property. But Professionals, they're the leading nonprofit networking organization for LGBTQ plus professionals in the U.S. So this is something that, if you want to network and get to know people in the area, this is probably one of the better groups to tap into. So, they have growing chapters, besides New York and LA, they've got Philadelphia, San Diego, they got San Francisco, there's a chapter in Connecticut. So they're kind of making their presence all around. So definitely, if you're available on the 16th, check them out and, do some great networking.
We can network there first and then come over to the show.
Yeah.
Come over to Candide or network with somebody and then bring them over to the show. I love that.
I love that.
And this got me thinking about my friends that was it's so hard to meet people. It's so hard to make friends. It's so hard to meet other business types. You've got to go to events like this to meet other gay professionals like yourself. Take your business cards. Okay, wait, do people still use business cards?
Digital.
I
Right, because I just, right.
I have all the above, but there's plenty of opportunity, not even just without professionals, but there's a lot of networking events in South Florida for LGBTQ plus people. So, definitely tap into them because there's definitely great people.
And our community has matured over the years. Because we didn't have all the arts and the theater and everything. I've been here 42 years and in that period of time, there was no Au-Rene theater, there was no Broward Center, there was no Foundry. The Gay Men's Choir was probably just starting or, in its infancy, and to see us grow and also be a place for others to come to our town and celebrate and do these incredible things with the arts and stuff. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the networking social for LGBTQ professionals on January 16th. Let's welcome my uncle from another mother. Wait a minute. Does that even go? No, I don't think so. Oh, well.
No.
Well, it's Glen Weinzimer. He has been a South Florida advocate for over 30 years, raising awareness and more than $16 million for the HIV/AIDS community for over 20 years. He's also a travel director, a corporate events planner, and former owner of Bona Italian Restaurant. Glen, bowling with the Bears. We're trusting the Bears with bowling balls. Okay, Bowling with the Bears fundraising event will be held at Manor Lanes on January 11th. Please tell me what's happening.
If you know the Bears, everything they do is a sellout. Their pool parties are sellouts all summer. They raise a ton of money. They just gave away over $100,000 for the first time, and this will be another one of their fundraisers. And you don't have to be a bowler to attend.
You don't have to be a bear to attend either.
And you don't have to be a bear. It's Bears and Friends. We can all go. And it's a fun afternoon. I think it's $38 a person, includes your food and your drinks and everything to participate. They're expecting to sell out at over 100 people. And the money that they give away this year, they gave money to Island City Stage, to the Pride Center, the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, the South Florida Pride Concert Band, Sage, Sunserve, Eagle Radio, Pink Nail Society, and Safe Schools. I mean, $100,000 into our community for these organizations that do great work, support everything from the arts to, seniors to those with Sunserve that are everything. So it's a great organization. They're great people. Brock and Kevin and all of them are amazing. If you can show your support at this event or any of their events, do it because it's worth it and it makes a difference in our community.
I love William Haas. Like that boy.
Yeah.
I love you, Will. You're awesome.
Right.
And just like everybody at this table that works with nonprofits, they are a nonprofit and they're always helping other nonprofits. Yes. So it's just incredible what they do. And you want to bowl? $38 ain't bad. You get to bowl, you get free food, you get your shoes, your shoe rental, and all of that. All right. So don't forget to bring socks. That always happens to me when I go to these bowling events. I forget to bring socks and I get mad. Yes.
I would go to quickly to a store. I would.
Oh no, I'd have to.
You didn't those things?
No, I wouldn't put my foot in there. What? No.
Find a friend with extra socks.
I put 2 Kotex in there and called it a day.
Yeah.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Bowling with the Bears on January 11th.
And this is tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye Wilton Onesie Wonderland Bar Crawl is a lot of words, is on January 18th. Tell me what's happening.
Oh, come on. You want to do this. It's time to get cozy, baby, with a bar crawl in your favorite onesie. You got one. And if you don't, you should have one. And if you need some direction on where to get one, hit me up. I got at least 5, all right? So this is the perfect weather for a onesie. So join us for the Wilton Onesie Wonderland bar crawl on Saturday, January 18th. Throw on your comfiest onesie and prepare for a night of fun, drinks, and giving back. Brought to you by Hunter's Nightclub. $20 donation gets you a free drink ticket at Lit Bar and helps raise funds for Lantera. Lantera, Florida was born out of a collective passion for and personal connection to mental health. The founding group saw a need for more mental health awareness and access in the South Florida community, especially for those who are marginalized, and wanted to help change that. It all starts at 6 p.m. at Lit Bar. There's the opening party from 6 to 8. Then we run on over to the pub on the drive from 8 to 9 p.m. Then we go to Hunter's from 9 to 10 p.m. Then we close out the party at No Manors from 10 p.m. to close. So don't miss out. Let's crawl for a cause. Get your tickets at givebutter.com/wowbarcrawl. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida gay culture. Queer News Tonight celebrates 5 years and 10,000 video news stories in 2025. This year, Queer News Tonight marks 5 years, 10,000 stories, and 11 million views. This milestone is unique in the entire LGBTQ world. Queer News Tonight's first story was on Monday, January 6th, 2020. The very first episode covered a mysterious virus from Wuhan, China. You know it now as COVID-19. The live daily evening news show broadcasts daily from that launch, all through pandemic, and celebrates the 5th anniversary today. We broadcast during pandemic in isolation, on set in isolation, and had a host hospitalized the day after Happening Out television network broadcasts. He died in intensive care 3 weeks later. Queer News Tonight has interviewed some of the world's most noted politicians, celebrities, and members of our LGBTQ plus community. Today, YouTube recognizes Queer News Tonight as one of the most popular LGBTQ plus streaming news shows in the world. vidIQ analytics confirm nearly 11 million views in YouTube alone, and the only daily live queer news show. The show is supported with more than 1,000 new subscribers every month. Nearly 500,000 viewers have watched this show in the past 90 days alone. Queer News Tonight was the inspiration of Al Ferguson. He was the anchor on Day One and Story One on the Wuhan virus. We thank you for supporting our mission to amplify queer voices and stories. Together, let's continue standing strong for our community and celebrating our shared progress. We plan to bring you the unfolding LGBTQ plus stories of 2025 as well. Wow, what a milestone. So I have been here at Queer News Tonight since October or November of 2020, right? So I wasn't here when it first started, but to see how much representation we have done, right? You know, mainstream TV news never covers what's important to our community, never covers what affects us, right? Here at Queer News Tonight and the Happening Out television network, they do just that. They cater to our community. They make sure that you've got the right education, so to speak, right? When it comes to politics, when it comes to everyday life, when it comes to your health, you get it all right here at the Happening Out television network. And I am beyond thrilled and honored to have been part of it for the last 3 years.
You know, knowledge is power. And if you don't have the knowledge, then you can't do anything with it. It's very important what this happens.
And it's an honor to be on the 5th anniversary show.
That's amazing.
You know,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just nice to hear something good happened on a January 6th.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 years later.
Think of that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, it's really interesting because I've been with Happening Out for a while, and I remember when we used to film this show in my restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I have been on episodes in 4 different locations, you know, until we finally found a home here at Sunshine Cathedral. So, you know, if you talk about like the evolution of community, how we grow as a community, how the world continues to grow as a society, how we just continue to evolve. Life moves. We move. And so this kind of platform has been the way that it's evolved and how it's included all those pillars you were talking about. There's like 10,
11 now.
11.
It's so true because, you know, I think about, you know, when I first started with the Gay Men's Course, which is about 3.5, 4 years ago, and, you know, Queer News Tonight was so important to me because, you know, at the beginning, we didn't have the budget that we have today. So it was getting the word out the best way we could. And, you know, Al kind of, you know, met with us and just, you know, said, let's just use this platform to get the word out there. And you guys have been so gracious with us. It's just been a pleasure just, helping to be an anchor for the last year. So it's a good, positive thing that we're doing for our community.
Yeah.
Just really
And it's
putting
been
a
good for us
important
individually
story.
as well. I mean, I've met so many people that are in our community
Right.
that I knew of.
I never knew Chef Josie before.
How could you not know Chef Josie? I'm blown away by that.
Her, but I've never met her. But
Yeah.
this is the place where you go and you actually meet great people like this. So.
Yeah, no, I've got to say that too, right? Some of my best friends sit at this table. Some of my best friends you get to hear stories from on a daily basis, and that right there is a blessing. And you also mentioned the Gay Men's Chorus, right? We've been able to work with so many incredible nonprofits that maybe didn't also have that kind of money to go, to go promote on in other avenues, and they were able to do that here.
Us too. I mean, the thing is that you couldn't possibly have enough budget in any nonprofit that exists in South Florida, especially after the governor's cuts, to be able to reach the market that you need to reach. It's impossible. So every opportunity, something like this is really very, very important.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much to Hotspot's Happening Out for all you've done. And, the FayWhat show is on your network, and, that is kind of important. It's kind of important to me. So here's to 5 years, and I hope that there's a million more years. Happy anniversary, Hotspot's Happening Out. So that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
I'm Chef Josie, and let's queer up social justice. Wilton Manor's gay man killed in partner's arms in New Year's Eve shooting. A Fort Lauderdale man says his partner was killed by a stray bullet on New Year's. Talking to Local 10 News, Christopher Dillon said that Angel Nunez visited him on New Year's and died while they were on his pool deck. Dillon said that Nunez came to surprise him at his home that evening, and while the couple embraced, Dillon said he saw a flash and Nunez collapsed. Authorities confirmed the death is being investigated as a homicide caused by celebratory gunfire. Police believe the bullet may have come from across the Middle River in Wilton Manors, and officers urge anyone with information on the celebratory gunfire to contact Fort Lauderdale police. First responders transported Nunez to Broward Health Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Authorities have not made a statement as to whether this was a gay hate crime. So this is sad. I've been I live here, so we have a little bit more information that's, given to us. And I read about their story, and Angel was making like a commitment to make it home, to see Dillon, to be there for the New Year's kiss.
Yeah.
And so this gets really, this really kind of hits home because, this year has been like a year of breakups, and I think everybody has.
Yeah, it's been a tough freaking year.
It's been a tough year, and here we have this one couple who's fighting to get to that kiss on New Year's Eve, and their New Year's was then disrupted by this tragic event.
Yeah.
They're talking about investigating it, whether it's a hate crime. Come on, guys. It's not a hate crime. We live in the South. People start shooting guns up in the...
we have a gun problem, not a hate.
We have a gun
in this
problem.
particular case, celebratory gunfire. That doesn't go together.
It just doesn't make no sense. If something goes up, guess what? It has to come down somewhere. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, come on. That doesn't make any sense at all.
None.
So, firecrackers are bad enough. But when you really think this is a lethal operating system that you have in your hand, okay? You can kill things. You can kill people with it. And you're going to go shoot up in the air and not expect for it to kill someone? Angelo was a sweet man. Like, I've done a Julian's Fountain of Youth, the reverse quinceañera I've hosted for the last 3 years, and Angel was one of the volunteers, okay? No one sweeter on earth than this man. Can I walk you to your car? Can I help you with something? Are you okay? I know you're a girl and it's nighttime, blah, blah, blah. Things like that, like, gay boys don't usually give a crap about us, okay? And, like... Except you, Glenn.
Okay,
except
I was
you.
going to argue that point.
And he was very thoughtful and very sweet. And his relationship with Christopher was so beautiful. And it breaks my heart because Christopher just lost a partner.
Yeah.
You know, this is not the first time that he's
Right.
dealing with that kind of a loss. Like,
know.
no one deserves that shit. No one deserves that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not a hate crime, it's an idiot crime. It's
Right.
it's a moronic crime. It's someone who is so selfish that only thinks about themselves. That is what it is.
They weren't thinking at all. The fact that you held a gun again, it makes no sense. It's not a celebratory thing at all. And I got to imagine for Keith,
Christopher.
For Christopher, sorry. That what he's going through, because he was standing right there, could have just as easily been him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, depending on how it hits.
Yeah. It could have been him. He was
Yes.
literally right next to him having
So,
a midnight kiss.
Talk about and after PTSD, you know, both having 2 deaths recently, and then, you know, being so close to.
Death yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, and it could have been anybody at this table. The reality is that once New Year's hits, right, you're celebrating, you're happy, you're in the moment. I remember telling Teresa, oh, let's go outside and see the fireworks, you know, and hold each other, right? She goes, I ain't going out there, you crazy. You know, my wife is like that, right? And then when the story came out, see, you wanted me to go outside, look what happened to poor Angel, you know? I mean, it's sad, and like Josie said, it's just freaking tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fragile. It's so fragile to have, you know, this type of, you know, experience, you know, within our community, because it resonates with all of us and on some sort of level. And life is so precious that you just never know when.
And so short.
Yeah.
Well, and on that note, you know, that's where the invitation on this 5th anniversary, we get to invite the viewers today to go out and like make sure the people who you love know you love them.
Yeah.
Right. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, and there's nothing in this world so terrible that we can't forgive each other, that we can't repair relationships, that we have to not talk to our family members, or there's none of that. Like, there's nothing that important or that tragic even that we have to be that way with each other. And if we could dig ourselves a little bit deeper and show some empathy and compassion to our sisters, our brothers, our neighbors, our family, everyone, you know, at least when these things happen, at least you know your conscience is clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anybody who hears this story, please be that beacon of love and hope for Christopher, because he has to need it during this time. And everyone send your thoughts and prayers that way. So that is a big LGBTQ story for today, and there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
I'm Jacqueline Lorber, and let's queer up politics. History made as Sarah McBride sworn in as the first transgender member of Congress. Congressman Sarah McBride, a Democrat from Delaware, was sworn in as the first transgendered U.S. House member. Using her childhood Bible, McBride described the moment as surreal and awe-inspiring. She thanked those who paved the way, saying, I am feeling grateful to all those whose shoulders I'm standing on. McBride, a former Delaware state senator, led laws like paid family leave and medical leave. Her journey to Washington had symbolic moments like an Amtrak ride with family, honoring Delaware's commuting tradition. During her swearing-in, McBride reflected on her family, her late husband, and her gratitude to Delaware. She vowed to serve all constituents, emphasizing, my office will be dedicated to serving the people of Delaware with a service-first mindset. McBride acknowledged upcoming challenges, especially anti-LGBTQ bills in a divided Congress. This is a milestone for McBride, but for the entire queer community. Well, I have to say that, you know, it's really remarkable to think about that area and what it takes to have had this outcome for her. And it's just really amazing. It's so much work that you can't even fathom what it takes to get there.
Yeah. You know, I have to say that when I first heard the name Sarah McBride, I thought it was a country singer. Yeah. This was forever ago, by the way, folks. All right. But anyway, once I started reading about her and her remarkable journey, this woman is a freaking badass powerhouse. Okay. And you better look out for her. Okay. You know, I just think, I mean, she has stated that she will obey the Capitol Hill trans bathroom ban. Okay. She will be using the men's bathroom. Right? This woman, I think it's disgustingly disrespectful to make this woman use the men's bathroom in the Capitol building, but she's doing it with such grace,
But
where she's like, F you.
Just wait until she walks in.
Right.
You don't have to deal with it. seriously, I mean, I am a person that has no problem to go in. I will use a men's bathroom, lines shorter here. We just kind of gang up together. Okay, who's watching the door? But that's not going to happen in this case, and they're going to have their out while she walks in the door in her dress and her pantsuit or whatever it is that she wears, and then they're going to have to deal with it. I mean, seriously, deal with it.
Yeah.
And a remarkable time to be elected into that position as we make this transition to someone who and the community, where our government is looking towards more negative LGBTQ laws and things to hinder people's freedoms. And here she is winning. One of the few big wins of this whole election cycle, and walking into who knows what.
Yeah. And I love that smile that it's put on your face, Glenn, because there's not a lot with this new administration that's making me smile, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that when you're saying the story, you're freaking happy about it. You can tell, it's one of
win.
our own doing this, right?
Yeah, and it means more to me right now than it would under normal circumstances, because Biden, we expect him to do things like that.
Yeah.
Or not that he would appoint somebody, he couldn't do that, but we expect things from his administration.
Yeah.
The number of what do they call them? The awards he gave out this last week to Medals of Freedom. Second highest for a civilian that you can get, and he had so many amazing people. So that I would expect, but going forward, I don't expect that. So it's good for her to get in there at this time, and God bless her, and may she be safe.
Yeah.
Well, and now it's time for all her friends on Capitol Hill to rally behind her and ensure her safety while she steps into men's bathrooms forced because they want to disrespect her gender. And, this is going to be an educational piece for everyone, I think. And I hope some people learn some lessons.
Yeah. Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today, and there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up drag culture. Worldwide celebrity mourning of Drag Race winner The Vivienne's death at 32. The LGBTQ community is mourning the loss of popular drag queen The Vivienne, who died at 32. The Vivienne, also known as James Lee Williams, passed away on Sunday, January 5th. The official statement read, quote, "James was an incredibly loved, warm-hearted, and amazing person. Their family is heartbroken at the loss of their son, brother, and uncle. They are so proud of the wonderful things James achieved in their lifetime and career," end quote. The Vivienne was the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race UK and was an All-Star 7 legend. Celebrities like RuPaul, Michelle Visage, and dozens of RuPaul's Drag Race contestants expressed condolences to the family and loved ones of our star queen. Fans, drag artists, and celebrities have expressed shock and sorrow over this tragic news. Details of the cause of death have not yet been released. Well, it's kind of sad, obviously, but, we've had a lot of loss, I think, within the drag community. Even here locally, we've had a drag, and, one of the previous stories, life can be so precious, and, you just never know. I've been a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, and this really hit me hard because, this was somebody 32 years of age, that is such a young person that really had a gift and a lot to offer this world, and to just to be silenced, it's tragedy. But I'm hoping that the community will rally together and rise above it. I know that there's been some talk on social media from some other drag queens, and it's just been kind of ugly recently that I've been reading, but I don't want to bring any emphasis to that, but it's about how do we come together as a community
come together.
Yeah, no,
it's
beyond sad, right? And everybody wants to give the family their grace and their time, and understand that they want their privacy, right? And I know that when somebody's in the light, I think Josie can attest to that. Fans feel like you belong to us, right? So we want to know what exactly happened. And unfortunately, my thoughts go to addiction, because I know that the Vivienne had some drug issues in the past. I hope that's not the case, right? But there's no reason why a healthy 32-year-old person dies. There just isn't, unless there's other means. And I hate to bring that up during a story that we're saying, you know, because I'm sorry, first of all, because they were non-binary, okay? They were so talented, okay? Many drag queens can lip sync and can put together an outfit, right? The Vivian, she sang, they acted, okay? They were in this incredible Wizard of Oz in the UK. You know, they just were so talented. So a loss like that really hits us, especially when it comes to drag culture, because that's like our foundation when it comes to LGBTQ, right? So it really hit me hard when I saw that. And it's sad. It's sad. 32. I mean, I think I have a purse that's 32 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
Ooh.
Really?
I know I do.
Yeah, it was handed down to me, but it was beautiful.
Half my age. Can't imagine being cut off at 32.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. And we'll all be thinking about the Vivian, all of the Vivian's fans and everyone else affected.
I think about the pressure on the person. You know, choosing that as their career comes with a lot to carry. And I mean, we lost Justin. I can't remember exactly how old he was from an embolism, but you know, that was a life cut.
It was about the same age.
A medical
Just some
situation.
yeah.
But in this case, if it came about for other reasons, then, and everybody has to kind of guess because we don't know, it won't come out until later on. But the thing is I think about the person and I think about the pressure that they have to live under to be able to do and excel and be the star that they were.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
I mean,
comes with baggage.
you were talking to us before the show about watching the Golden Globes yesterday, right? A lot of us saw the Golden Globes yesterday and how affected I was and how affected Jacqueline was over Demi Moore's speech, right? It was somebody that you think is so strong and has it all together and nothing can touch me. You're going to say something negative about me? F you. And Demi Moore was carrying around something about being less than and not enough for 40 years.
Yeah, it's just a horrible,
You know?
horrible
So-
thing. But it's the truth because that was her truth and it came out and you could tell that it was very sincere what you know what she had to say, and the fact that a person like that has been told that they are less than or cannot be. I can't accept that. Anything I've ever done were all things that I wasn't supposed to be able to do, and I did. And I don't listen to that. I don't tune it. But I mean, I tune it out. I was going to say, but in this case, it made me cry to hear her talk about that.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. Not everybody is as strong as you are, Jack. You know, it's not easy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I believe me, I wouldn't consider myself strong, but I would consider myself like I believe it's going to happen and I make it happen. And that's really, there's no point in life where anybody gets to tell me something different. It just doesn't.
No one should ever burst someone else's bubble or go after someone else's dream and tell them it's not doable or it's not possible. Because that, to me, is like one of the worst things you can do. I was in a situation years ago where someone told me, sometimes my ideas are so grand, it's easier to do nothing. And I had to think about it. And then I called the person back and I said, if it wasn't me and you had said that to someone else who may not have as much tenacity as I do, you could have ruined that person's dream because maybe they wouldn't have gone after it.
100.
And we're all affected by that. So that power of what you say and what you do and how it affects other people. And so, you know, I agree with you, Jack. Yeah.
It must be like, you know, the whole reality base. Maybe Josie can probably speak on this. Like when you go on to a reality show, I mean, it's a different type of pressure than it's like when you're rehearsing something or when you're doing a movie. So, you know, because all eyes are on you and it's like instant, you know, attention right upon you. So yeah, that could stress anybody.
When you do a reality show, it's reality, right? Yes, it's scripted, but they get to get more parts of you than you would get as an actor.
Normally.
Well, and
they pit you
the
against
problem
each other.
The problem with that is that here you are showing up as yourself, and then you have armchair critics who are out there in the computer land. They're insulting you. They're judging you, they're shaming you, and they're not just shaming some character, they're shaming you as a human being. Oh God, you know, I have echoes still in my head about, oh my God, that girl has such an obnoxious laugh. You know, it took me
Your laugh is amazing!
It took me many years to let that go because I said, is that what you're coming after me for? Because my laugh is obnoxious?
Well,
then don't, you know, and it's really sad though, like what you said, you know, I feel you on that. When someone says, oh, you have lofty dreams, I'm a visionary.
Yeah.
My dreams have always been too lofty. And if you don't like you said, if you don't believe in yourself, the first person who has to believe is you in yourself.
Yeah.
And I wish that, like, you know, people like the Vivian and all these other folks that we've lost, and that they understood how truly valuable their life is, and how valuable their art is, and how valuable their voice is, and their contribution, because all of us are here because we have a gift. And whatever that gift is, however that gift is expressed, it's a part of how we continue to evolve as a human race.
It makes me think about that. You know, the first time I came out, I was younger, and I had an experience happen where it made me kind of close the door to who I was, and I suppressed myself as an adult for many, many, many years. And when it finally got to the point where I could not do that any longer, and I came out, it was like a volcano. But you know, it was because I had really, I wasn't ready to live my life. I was living the life of being a mom and taking care of my son, and that was my priority. And I wasn't a priority to myself in those ways. But once I finally was able to tune into that, that was it. There was no looking back. And you know, it takes standing up and saying something. You know, my mom. You know, what am I going to tell my friends? Well, you can stick your head in the sand, or you can, you know, you can deal with it. But because I was known, it was a challenge for her. And then came, you know, typical Jewish mom, and God rest her soul, you know, I miss her every day. You know, she said, well, what about your son? And I said, well, ask him. And she did. And my son said, Grandma, what about your friends? And my son said at 17, Grandma, if my friends have a problem, it's their problem. And then I knew that it was the right thing on every level. But to have that, to get to that place, it's very hard. Very hard.
It's not easy. Not easy at all. Mr. Vivian, you will be missed. And that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
I'm Glen Weinzimer, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Gay Pornhub goes dark in Florida as VPN demand surges by 1,000%. Florida has seen a 1,150% rise in VPN demand after Pornhub blocked state access. The block follows legislation that requires an ID to access adult content, mirroring similar laws nationwide. As a result, Pornhub, the world's largest adult site, has blocked access in 17 U.S. states, including Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Forbes reports that VPN Mentor, quote, detected a surge of 1,150% in VPN demand in Florida in the first few hours, end quote. After the law came into effect on January 1st, they called it a staggering surge. VPNs let users browse privately, bypassing location-based restrictions, but carry cybersecurity risks. Cybersecurity companies like Kaspersky have warned of malicious apps posing as VPNs. Amid rising demand for private browsing, Pornhub owner ALO, however, criticized some state laws, saying they go too far with restrictions. This is pretty amazing because we recently talked about Pornhub being the number one, you know, place for porn. Yeah. And here we are, like, you know, just a week or two later, and this law has come into effect. And I don't know how many of you even knew that was happening, because I really wasn't aware till, like, basically today in reading the story. What amuses me about this is that Republicans don't want they don't want government in your life. Yet in this case, they're letting the government make a decision for everybody else. Yeah. And so they've almost made it harder, because if someone underage tries to get into it, they can through VPN with very few restrictions. Yeah. Where prior to that, you as a parent could set up blocks of sites your kids can't get to. So I think they may have made it easier instead of harder, you know, and I understand why people want to be in a VPN, because they're not being followed. And so, you know, if you have a career you're concerned about, if you're a community person or a political person, you don't want someone following where you've been and then use that against you. Yeah. But, you know, it's crazy. It's entertainment site, we'll call it that, because that's pretty much is what it is, because I'm sure everyone that watches is being entertained at that moment where they wouldn't be looking. You know, and it's mind-boggling, and it's the whole South. That's what's crazy.
You know when I found out? January 2nd, when I went looking for my porn, okay? That's when I found out, okay? And it's funny because Queer News Tonight was on vacation, right? So, you know, we would have probably told you that story January 1st when we would have been here, right? Because nobody else said a story. Nobody else said, hey, watch out, January 1st is tomorrow. A lot more than 2025 is happening. You're losing your porn, right? And people would have been on it.
It was not breaking news on any major chat station.
No, you want to know how I found out about it? It was somebody's update on their Facebook page. Okay, and they're like, "What Pornhub?
Where's my porn?"
And okay, and you guess what I did next? I had to go look. I wasn't blocked, so I clearly am. I guess I'm surfing openly.
Yeah, look at you. You're a surfing nomad.
You might be VPNing this whole time and didn't even know it.
I wasn't VPNing. I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't know. I kind of do that when I go overseas.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, you brought up a couple things, right?
That was the point.
Yeah, the fact that like we have to be private about, there's a stigma around porn, and oh my God forbid you're sexual being who likes to be freaky and that you have your kinks or you have your curiosities, or maybe you've never been with someone, and you want to learn how it's done. Who knows why you go to porn, okay?
And everybody goes to porn, not just LGBTQ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the fact that like it's just another way to shame us into and fearmonger us that now you are being you're being monitored. Mm-hmm. Now it's again fear,
you're being judged.
Fear. You're being judged. You're being shamed. You're being this. Oh my God! Like, guys, go out there and get some fresh air, man.
No, and it's always those crazy people that need to have more sex because they need the sex. And this is all presented to people. This is all presented to people as a way to for the safety of children. Okay, that is how it's presented to people. Yeah. Okay, and that's a crock because as a child you will figure out another way to get that information. You will go to your friend's house and use their mom's phone, okay? To see the porn that you need. I mean, it doesn't make any sense,
And there was a time where Playboy and Penthouse were the big things you had to worry about.
National Geographic was my shit. I loved it.
They're taking the responsibility of raising your kids from the parents and saying, you know what, parents, you guys don't know how to raise your kids.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it as a government.
Yeah.
And that's just like that's where we're missing the mark here in society right now, is that we're just continuing to create all these programs that take the power of raising children out of the parents' hands. Instead of supporting parents to be better parents or have the things that they need to provide for their kids, a house, food, clothing on their back, the necessities, okay? Instead of creating the monies and the programs and allocating it to parents and helping them, no, you know what? We're gonna make school lunches. And we're gonna now you don't have to learn how to make your kid lunch anymore. You wanted to have a kid, but you don't even want to make your kid lunch anymore. Right. You don't want to get up and make them breakfast. Now the government is in control or responsible for raising your kids. So this is a conversation, you know what I mean? And I'm not about ripping away programs that help parents be parents.
Right.
But what I am not really for is for supporting parents who are not being parents. That I don't do.
And there's an educational part of this. And as weird as this in the direction it goes, but the state of Florida can no longer have sex education in schools. So you're hearing about sex not anywhere.
Not anywhere.
It's complete abstinence. I know the World AIDS Museum was doing classes on sexual health and all the STDs you could potentially get. And they were told they can't go into any schools this year because the only thing they're allowed to talk about is abstinence. And that is ridiculous. And so, right, like that's not a reality as a teenager.
And they're still going to go have sex. They're still going to go find it.
And now they're going to have unprotected sex. They're going to start getting STDs at a young age. They're going to
and then they can't even watch someone else, so they learn what they're doing, so it's not so awkward.
Wow. So I have a question in terms of Pornhub. Was this?
Don't play dumb.
Well, no. I'm going down a different road. So. Was Pornhub targeted specifically?
No.
Or was it
No,
all porn?
all porn sites. You
So
have to give your
every
age.
porn site.
For us here in Florida, not every state.
So
I
if
think
you
there's
go
like
on,
15 of us, 15 states or something like that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
You
but
know, the
again,
pendulum-
we're very resourceful in our community, okay? Everybody's still watching porn through Surfshark, just to let you know, okay? Just to let you know. Oh, write that down. Write that down. Surfshark, okay? Thank you, Auntie Mame. Thank you.
You guys are so funny. I watched a movie during the film festival. It's like, okay, I don't want to see this. I went into the bathroom. But anyway, you know, the thing is that the pendulum, well, I'm still a Michigan.
She's so cute. I love it.
You know, what can I tell you? Just have a nice day kind of girl. When I think the pendulum swings all the way in one direction. And what we're seeing is that, in my opinion, my humble opinion, and it's gone, they needed to go over here so that it could eventually come back to some kind of median, because I was so heartbroken. I have not turned on the news. I was a news junkie, morning, noon, and night. Literally, I will wake up and put them in my ears and go to sleep the same way, driving in the car, whatever it was. But when you look at that map, and this is the reality of it. There's 4 corners of the map that are blue and everything else is red. You have to kind of figure out that this whole thing is just too much for those people, whoever they are. That center of everything, and you have literally 4 corners I'm a visual person. I didn't need to see a single number. I didn't need to see anything except for to look at that picture and say, okay, this is where we are. It doesn't matter what I think is right. Because this is where we are. This is our reality, and it's got to come to a different place. So people like us have to be the catalyst for that.
But like you said, the pendulum will actually eventually swing the other way. So
history.
Wherever we are in this topic,
We won't be there tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
I cling to that.
Surfshark. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. I'm gonna call Sabrina and tell her Surfshark. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. So those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus and ally community, and we want to tell the stories of our queer community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then strive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat! And on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Jacqueline Lorber, Chef Josie, Edward Otto Zielke, and Glen Weinzimer. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you love, generosity, bravery while being transformative and queer. Good night.